Here's to the dude down the street with the garage band. The folks standing on the street corner asking for change. Change. It's something we all need. But until things get a little better, listen to the music play. Where in the world is Megan's new music? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear my voice, then that means you have made it through yet another work week, another show week, and we're back at it with another episode of Where in the World is Megan's New Music? We've got a whole list of things to do and not a lot of time to do it, so let's not waste any time. Thank you for being here. Let's kick off our top 10 with number 10, MX the American, Coming Home.
Yo, let's come into this house of fun. Let's come into this house of pain. Let's come into this house of rain. Y'all ready? Come on, let's roll.
I feel the sun as it beats down on my face.
Hot as a blade.
Yes,
dog or crawl, it's okay to leave it all behind. We had MX the American coming in at number 10 with their song Coming Home. And at number 9, we had EJ Fabishesky with her song Radiation. Coming in at number 8, we've got John Porabil with Prince Charming.
Dressed you in all of his finest, golden chiffon. There's no one to stop the proceedings now that stepmother's gone. You promise each other till death do you part. A kiss on the lips and it breaks your young heart. Who wouldn't love to be seen around town with Prince Charming? Tall, dark, and handsome, the smile is so disarming. You live to be loved, so that's what you do. You made a vow and now you follow it through. So who would love to be married to Prince Charming? He acts like you owe him a favor. You probably do. All of his servants and handmaidens are waiting on you. He likes to remind you of how much you need him. Outside of the royal bedroom, you hardly see him, but who would love to be seen around town with Prince Charming? Tall, dark, and handsome, the smile is so disarming. You live to be loved, so that's what you do. You made a vow and now you follow it through. So who would love to be married to Prince Charming? Everybody you meet says you're practically glowing. You can see in the mirror every day that you're growing. And he's overjoyed that you'll soon be a mother. You traded one glass casket for another. He acts like you owe him a favor. Well, not anymore. He's gonna come home and he'll find you sprawled on the floor. Search for the poison all over the cabin. A kiss on the lips. Nothing happens. Who would love to be seen around town with Prince Charming? Tall, dark, and handsome, so ridiculous, disarming. You live to be loved, so that's what you do. You made a vow and now you follow it through. So who would love to be married to Prince Charming? Who would love to be married to Prince Charming? Who would love being married to Prince Charming? You.
Here comes number 7, Mr. Ray Powers with his song Saved.
normalized, wielding paranoia, easily manipulate people that you trusted, hate to fabricate. They say jealousy leads to misery, so take your pride and ego far away from me. Too late to claim my soul, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. Keep your lies, I'm going home, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. Evil on every corner, sinister at every turn, deadly sins they're dealing, setting up a trap and burn. Fire in the hole now, situation just got real. Fighting at a distance while they hunt for hearts to steal. You tried to push agendas, you tried to sell deceit. Time is up, you fool. Hope you didn't count on me. Too late to claim my soul, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. Keep your lies, I'm going home, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. By no means is this complacency. The truth will surface and will be set free. You're too late to claim my soul, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. Keep your lies, I'm going home, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. You're too late to claim my soul, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. Keep your lies, I'm going home, 'cause I've been saved. I've been saved. I've been saved. I've been saved. I've been saved.
Thank you so much for sticking around for yet another top 10 with some slam-packed artists. We also have an interview coming up, but here is number 6, Orange G, with his song Echoes in the Park. Let's give it to him.
Laying in the trees, staring up at the sky. Don't know the reason why, it's fascinating. Universe of clouds staring back at me. I don't know what they see, but I see faces, and they gaze in disapproval in my existence. Echoes in the hall, I hope to see your face. Wish to be in more than one place. Going to extreme successively, managing all of my fascinations, and I control my self-destruction. making friends with all of my hallucinations, and I reserve my paranoia for what I know is. I woke up in those streets with some acid breeze and cause of organized confusion. I contemplate this life, ain't no good reasons why any of it ever even happened. But each day I repave the lanes to clear the way. Each day I repave the lanes to keep connections.
That was number 6, Orange G, Echoes in the Park. We're going to hop on over to our boys at Cuddle Puddle with their song coming in at number 5, Straight Mutt.
It's quite a walk, but we'll get there. Stress for water to get my head clear. Siphon thoughts, there's opportunity. Oh, what a nightmare. Take me away from here. Dense thoughts for myself and the ones I love. Walking up your alley, do you know why I came here? I don't lack strength of anything I take. This time I won't remember your name. Fuck it, I won't remember mine. Straight mutt. Shit out of love too much to get fucked up on. I don't know why I even hold on. Straight mutt. Straight mutt. Shit out of love too much to get fucked up on. I don't know why I trusted you.
Can you tell me what your name is?
Give it up one more time to Cuddle Puddle for their number 5 hit of the week, Straight Mucked. We're going to slow things down with our number 4. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Wild Bill coming in with his song, Wednesday song.
J.C. Stagel comes a visiting version of Wednesday song. Here's a little Wednesday song. It's a Wednesday night tradition, a little bit of poetry from a poet on a mission. I'm so glad you're here. You help me shake off all that blue, and I hope you sing along because I wrote this song for you. Na na na, baby, how you doing? La la la, I hope you're feeling fine. Oh, 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 I'm so glad that you could make it, 'cause I love your souls, and I hope that you love mine. Well, I spend my days in a bubble of spin, sailing my ship through a sea of sin, and the end of the day is a welcome knife, 'cause it cuts away all that wounded skin. I'm afraid to wake up for the trouble I'm in, but I can't stay asleep forever. So I prop my eyes with the smallest of lies, and I can keep on pulling the lever. And here's a little Wednesday song. It's a Wednesday night tradition, little bit of poetry from some poets on a mission. I'm so glad you're here. It helps me shake off all that blue, and I hope you sing along because I wrote this song for you. Na na na, baby, how you doing? La la la, you know I'm feeling fine. Whoa, 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 I'm so glad that you could make it, 'cause I love your souls, and I hope that you love mine. Well, you might be as hot as the world has got, and I don't begrudge you the power. Or you might be a seed in a window box, gonna grow into a flower. Or you might be a dungeon dweller, and the key don't fit your hand. But if you're here on Wednesday night, you're in the world's best band. And here's your little Wednesday song. It's a Wednesday night tradition, a little bit of poetry from some poets on a mission. I'm so glad you're here. You help me shake off all that blue, and I hope you sing along because I wrote this song for you. Na na na, baby, how you doing? La la la, you know I'm feeling fine. Oh, 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 I'm so glad that you could make it, 'cause I love your souls, and I hope that you love mine. Na na na, baby, how you doing? La la la, you know I'm feeling fine. Oh, 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 I'm so glad that you could make it, 'cause I love your songs, and I hope that you love mine.
Can't believe I'm 70. Last week I was 24. Time seems like a mystery. I can't keep track anymore. I never thought I'd still be here. I used to say that every day. I got nothing left to fear. I wouldn't go back anyway. No one knows what lies ahead. You take it one day at a time. Living sure beats being dead. Enjoy it in your prime. Growing older sure does beat lying underground. I'm still standing on my feet. Glad I'm still around. Yesterday was a Beatles song John Denver sang today. Living right means living long. Keep that reaper at bay. No one knows what lies ahead. You take it one day at a time. Living sure beats being dead. Enjoy it in your prime. No matter what some people do, when all is done and said, everything is down to you. You gotta live it up, live it up, live it up until you're dead.
Well, that was Paul Isert sneaking in at number 3 with his song Live It Up. That's my personal favorite of his songs. And I want to say thank you once again to everybody who tunes in every Friday night to listen to the top 10 pick of the week and our interviews when they come through the airwaves. Tonight we do have someone calling in from Connecticut. we're going to get to know a new friend of mine, and I'm very happy to bring you their music and their story. But before we do that, let's go ahead and give it to Mr. Devin Russian at number 2 this week. His song, Rivers of Pittsburgh, coming at you.
I walk across the bridge again tonight, looking for adventure or just a place to hide. I wish to lose myself in your lights. I wish to lose myself in the night. I'm running from the past I leave behind, and reaching for the daylight to see what I can find. I wish to lose myself in my mind. I wish to lose myself in the sights of the rivers of Pittsburgh. And I think of where I go and where I've been, looking down on the water as it washes away my sin. I wish to lose myself in a dream. I wish to lose me and float downstream in the rivers of Pittsburgh. Across the bridge again tonight, looking for adventure or just a place to hide. I wish to lose myself in your lights. I wish to lose myself in the night across the rivers of Pittsburgh. And the glass in the sky catches sight of the light, and the gray clouds appear as the light reflects on me. And the glass in the sky catches sight of the light, and the gray clouds appear as the light reflects on me, as the light reflects on me. From the rivers of Pittsburgh, from the rivers of Pittsburgh.
That was Devin Russian coming in at number 2 with his song Rivers of Pittsburgh. And this week coming in at number 1, a newfound friend of mine and one of the most rockin' ladies of Pittsburgh. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Miss Jessica Bella with her song Time to Be Alive, coming in at number 1 here on Where in the World is Megan's New Music.
They said I gave it all, everything. I said, go, go, unstoppable. They said I'm busy, dying, trying. I told them, time to be alive. I got my safe space, but it was a trap. I stepped out, 'cause fear is alive. we overcame it, and life gave me the future. No more fear, no more fear. Time to be alive, this is your time. Laugh, cry, feel weak. Time to be alive. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let them push you down. This is your time. Oh, this is your time. Time to be alive. Too many times I cried on my bed, let the dark side win and win again. Ignore the minutes, discouraged too many times, too many times, too many times. It's all good now, it's all good now, it's all good now. Time to be alive, this is your time. Laugh, cry, feel weak. Time to be alive. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let them push you down. This is your time. Oh, this is your time. Time to be alive. This is your time. Laugh, cry, feel weak. Time to be alive. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let them push you down. This is your time. Oh, this is your time. Time to be alive.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you once again for hanging out for yet another episode of Where in the World is Megan's New Music. We're back at it with another interview, and I don't want to waste any time at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a very warm welcome to Jebb. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
No worries. I've been sick the last 2 days, so it's been great to actually something to look forward to. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, I hope you're feeling better.
I'm getting there. My voice is dead. As a musician, it's the worst thing.
I understand all
Sit
too
there I
well.
want to sing so bad. Oh yeah.
Many a nights I've sucked on garlic cloves. I understand.
Oh yeah.
Well, Jebb, why don't we go ahead and jump right into things? Tell me a little
Perfect.
bit about yourself.
Well, I started music when I was 17, and just driving force. I don't know where the heck it came from. I have no clue. Just this divine intervention type thing where I couldn't stop making music. My Bandcamp is flooded with 1 million albums and just couldn't stop. And lately it's just been where do I take this passion and just move in? So I became a record label owner with a bunch of friends of mine, and we started doing stuff, and we signed some artists and stuff like that. As a musician, I'm lucky enough to play with some really cool guys, collabing online. I've worked with the Posies' John Auer. I've worked with Frankie Saragusa. Who else in the top of my head? Terry Draper of Klaatu. Lisa Michaels, the queen of power pop. There's a lot of really cool names that pop in mind. And then I became a radio host as well. So I do a lot of many hats here. So
Wow, that's awesome. That sounds like you keep yourself
Thank
nice
you.
and busy.
I try. It's one of those things. I don't know if it's a fear of being alone or a fear of it's not having something to do. So I got to do all this stuff, but it definitely works. But it does take a lot of patience and not to get burnt out and everything. It does take a lot of work. It's actually more work on the other end of trying not to get burnt out. So I always do journaling or I try to write just to kind of do something, because I feel like if I'm not active, I seem to burn out. So
I completely understand that. That is, yeah, I totally get that.
oh yeah.
So tell me, you said you were, young when you got this fire for music,
Mm.
where did you kind of start? Were you playing guitar? Were you in a class? Where do you think that came from?
So it's like a funny story. So like I had started, my dad taught me how to play guitar around like when I was like 15 or 14, and I couldn't do it. I was so frustrated. I was annoyed with the chords, and just, it wasn't my thing. Well, at least I thought it wasn't. And then I started going through high school, and I wanted to be the like awkward, weird kid that played guitar in the hallway. So I started bringing it to school, started playing. So it was guitar. But I noticed that my guitar skills were never like, I'm a rhythm guy. I'm not really a lead guitarist in any means, but I play leads here and there. I noticed that, you just keep practicing, it'll come. But I noticed that I'm not really a singer either. I just enjoy singing. It's a funny thing. I'm more of a writer. I definitely have that passion for pen and paper, but my grammar is horrible. So it's very ironic. I can write really good songs, but my Facebook posts are like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely a younger guy. He can't, just writing's terrible. But so I have a ghostwriter on my website for majority of my reviews, and my ideas go to him, and then he'll write it for me with perfect grammar. Shout out to Josh Bradley on that one. But yeah, no, it's been since I was like younger, just that itch to songwrite, that itch to I wanted to write. Like, I've always never really thought about writing songs for other people, but it became more apparent. I write as a character. Like, Jebb is my thing, and I used to go by Jebb, and I realized like over time I kind of lost who I was as Jeremy, and I realized after a while it's like, oh, it's because I've been living this fantasy character of the guy on the stage, and I was always writing in his voice and his thing, and I realized like we're one of the same, we're the same person, we're musicians. So it was kind of fun having that. It's like that David Bowie type thing,
Yeah.
Ziggy Stardust, which I always thought was cool. Big inspiration, of course, from Bowie and Ziggy Stardust persona. Definitely one of my major inspirations, but it's been that kind of thing. That's where I'll leave it.
Right on, right on. And you said you moved on to owning your own record label. Tell me about that.
So, oh wow. So that actually came out of, this is going to be a very complex thing. I might, maybe Owen will bring it up too when we you interview him as well, Landon here. I'm not sure if he will, but he might. So we became writing partners over the internet. So I'm a little kind of going around the question, but I will answer it. So he's from Ohio and I'm from Connecticut. So we've never met in person. And this year we're finally going to meet in person in August. We have a big record bash coming up, our first ever. And it was a dream of mine to do something for other musicians. I've always wanted to, and then became a radio tie, the radio hosting, the music playing, the knowing people and having so much network connections, meeting famous people all the time because of the radio show. How can I tie this all together? And it was like, a record label would be great. So thanks to my manager, who also manages Jason Cropper, the original guitarist of Weezer, David Scaff, we kind of talked a little bit, and he goes, you have that little record label that you put all your music under. Why don't you make that a business? And I was like, yeah, but money, money is not what I have right now. I work at a venue. I work at a venue in Connecticut, and I love working there. I'm very passionate about it, and I believe in the industry, even though it's got its issues. I still very faithfully believe in the industry of music. Yeah. So I like working in there, and I'm at the low of the totem pole there, but it feels really cool when I get to go to work and everybody knows who I am, and they're like talking to me and everything. And you meet some really cool people just because they're in the audience. They're fans just like us, And so it's really cool to meet all these people. So it just became a thing. I said, I want to own my own business. So we did LLC this year. Robojack Records is the robojackrecords.com is where you can check everything out. But it was just something interesting to really do that jump. It was scary too. It wasn't like an overnight decision, but when it happened, it felt like it was an overnight. It's like that classic overnight sensation type thing. Mm-hmm. And it just went so fast. Like, we signed Jim Terrell as our first artist, and I got to meet him in person after I met him at a Posey show back in the, it was like 2017. I was still in high school, I think. And knowing that whole situation that I've been going on now with them, but it's just, it was meeting him at a show was so cool. And I just remember the story of like meeting him in the bathroom, and he was like handing me a CD, and it was like kind of awkward. I'm like, I'm signing that guy as my first artist. It just became a kind of a thing. And we didn't even have the label yet. I just was already having him sign a contract. It was great. And then it sparked and it happened. But the character of Robojack is actually based on a musical me and this Owen guy here, my co-owner, are writing. It's been in the works for like 4 years, where I don't know if it's ever going to see the day of light, or light of day, I should say. Sorry, talking too fast here. The light of day, because it's just been so much passion put into it. We developed characters. We have like a fictional town of Greenleaf, and then I found out there's a show called Town of Greenleaf, and I'm like, God dang it, gosh darn it, they'd steal. And then there's a show called The Wire, which is what this musical was based on, but it has nothing to do with tapping into the president airwaves, So it's like kind of funny to me. They're like, all these names get stolen. and you think you create something and somebody already takes it, but it's been, it's a fictional world, it's fantasy. So and then all my music has been kind of based in that universe. That's the character of Jebb. So it's been kind of cool to be able to take that high intensity brain that I have and just use it for something good with making music, and now making the record label.
That is incredible.
It's different.
Yeah, I'd say, and I love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, why don't we go ahead and take a moment to take a listen to one of the songs that you have released. We have time for 3 tonight. So what do you want to play first?
We'll do Isolated Do. That would be great.
All right, tell me about it.
So Isolated Do was written during COVID. It was when it first was hit. I mean, we're still in COVID technically, but everything's been crazy. But it was written kind of during the frustrations. I was just getting started as a musician. Now I'm kind of thankful for the time that I've been able to reflect on myself and really work on myself during these times, but I'm still frustrated. I can't do as much as I want, and stuff like that. And this song was written during a time period that my life was kind of like, I felt like I was on top of the world, but also like felt guilty for being on top of the world. Felt like I didn't deserve this, but also knew that I did deep down. It's just I haven't found that answer yet. It mentions the band The Posies, who were very big influences in my life for a long time. Was really close with those guys, and just something that I was very proud of being until recently with the news going out. It was like really tough to talk about sometimes. But it also mentions a band called Klaatu from the 70s. They were kind of like a Beatles spin-off type thing, and they got blamed for being the Beatles because it was right when the Beatles broke up. All about timing. So I wanted to mention them in a song, and I actually became friends with 2 of 3 members, 2 of 3 of them, really close. And one of them wrote to me one day during a really dark time in my life, and just wrote to me. He must have just knew. And he was like, "Hey, you inspired me to get back into music." And hearing that from a band that I like never knew I existed, and I wrote them in a song, was just incredible. So the song kind of speaks for itself. It mentions the whole trend of everybody was going like shaving their heads. I know that was the thing back with COVID, and I started noticing it as a trend. So I threw that in the song, and it became very relevant. And it's just a song that means a lot to me. And it got sent to LA to be worked on with Frankie Saragusa in the Lab Studios. I never got to go to the studios, but the song did. And I think songs carry a lot of weight. So that's Isolated too.
That's awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a listen to Isolated Do.
I need a break out of here. I need a break with no fear. I need to break out of here. I need to be with you, my dear. It's true. Harboring feelings of you. I need a way to a clearer path. I need a way just to last. I need a way out of here. I need to be with you, my dear. It's true. Harboring feelings of you. She comes quietly to the door, waiting for approval. How come holding hands with fear, becoming one, my dear? I need a break. I need a break. I need a break out of here. Out of here we go. I need a break with no fear. Coming one man. I need to break out of here. Holding hands. I need to be with you, my dear. It's true. Harboring feelings of you. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break out of here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to listen to Isolated Do. Jebb, thank you very much for sharing that.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's one of those songs down to my heart. Like I said before, it's just so cool that a song could travel to places I really want to go. So it always kind of relates to my life, where Jeremy's behind Jebb. Jebb is very far advanced musically, kind of like identifying the music as another person is easier to understand for some folks. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, you're like the super band of the music world. I love it.
Yeah, and then it's just to mention Jebb there, it was like it used to just be me. Now it's a whole band. It's like it got nuts. It got to the point where now there's a designated bass player, designated drummer, and it's kind of fun. We switch between like 4 drummers and 3 bass players, and I play bass too. So it's just been like whoever I need, I could bring in, kind of like how Matthew Sweet brings in Velvet Crush once in a while to do recordings and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's cool.
That is cool. It kind of reminds me of this group. They're from the Midwest. I can't remember what state, but they're called Sturgeon Friends. And it started off with just this solo artist, Evan Sturgeon, and little by little, he's just like gathered more.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they go
that's cool.
Tour all over the place, and they play a bunch of stuff. It's really cool.
I'd say a collective. I like that. Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, you could play, come up and join. I love that because that's like a feeling of just like music is for everybody. I feel like I don't own my own songs. I do. I mean, I have the legal rights.
Yeah.
But I feel like songs speak to people on a different level. You can't own emotions of other people. You can only own your own.
Exactly.
And it's kind of cool to hear that. Like when people respond back to me, like, "Oh, I love your song, it helped me through this and this and this." And it's always been a goal of mine to like, if I could help one person because of my songs, then I made it. And then I forgot, like I've already done that. It's just I always forget, like I get into a depression or I get like sad or something. I always forget that like I've helped people without even realizing, because you don't know who's listening to your song, and thank you listeners for tuning in. Like it's really cool to hear people's feedback, especially if it's positive. Of course, negatives not so fun, but at least they're listening. It counts, right?
Exactly. Love me or hate me, I'm still on your mind.
Exactly. I like that. That's a song title right there.
There you go. I give you permission to use that one.
Sure. I see your profile pic. Do you play guitar too and sing?
Yes, I do. I am a singer-songwriter based out of Pittsburgh here. I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm currently with a band called Moonshine Jasmine. We're an acoustic duo.
Send me some stuff. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear that.
For sure. See that, ladies and gentlemen? We're on the air. We're collabing. We're making
look at that. That's how music works.
All in live action, too.
Right.
Oh, man. So you've got this radio show. You've got this record label. You've got so much music that you're putting out. It's amazing. I got to ask, as somebody who is floating in the same boat, how do you keep your head on straight?
I don't, and I'm sitting here today. My anxiety has been through the roof. I'm very sensitive. I don't know, like I'm sensitive to like the way the world is. It's just scary with everything going on, like just in general, right? But it's scary in the sense that like I have a hard time like shutting up. I'm so excited about what I do. I'm very passionate, and a lot of people. You have to find the right people that are just as passionate as you. And when you're really passionate about something, you don't find them that easily. And I started following the best thing I think I've done. Like I said before, I don't keep my head on straight. I just focus on what's the next thing, But I started sitting down and actually like meditating and reflecting, which at my age, it's like hard to do. I'm 22 and it's like hard to just be able to sit down and just relax because we're so tied to social media. We're tied to all this stuff that's instantaneous. Meditation is not instantaneous. You can't gain that stuff just in 2 seconds. Yeah. But I started reading The 4 Agreements, which is a really good book. And if anybody's interested, check it out. Just throwing it out there. It's a nice philosophy way of thinking. And it's just the basic morals of like, do your best, don't take things personally. And it's stuff that like sounds so easy to do, but I was like stomach turning, trying not to take personal situations so hard. And it's hard. It's used the same word twice here, but life is tough. And I think to keep the head above water type thing is just, I think having depression, I suffer from PTSD, depression, all this stuff. And I recently was able to fight the medical system and get off, which was really what inspired a lot of my songs. It inspired that I was able to take control of my own life. I don't recommend that for everybody. Everybody's different. Medicine can help people, and I'm not anti anything. I'm just like really focused on helping myself and making sure that I get to the next level. But there's days that are like, I still have those thoughts and it's scary, but I go to try to write songs instead. And, like Isolated Do was one of those songs that really came out of a frustration that I don't feel like I wrote it. I feel like, again, it was more of a push of somebody else writing through me. I know a lot of songwriters have been quoted saying that, but I do feel that. I think I always felt like I was very close with Pete Ham of Badfinger, the 70s band.
Yeah.
I've read the book. I just his life was so fascinating to me. And same with Tom Evans too, again, from Badfinger. just such an interesting story, a very, very tragic story too. For those that do know me, they know I love Badfinger. I'm in a tribute band at the moment too. So, and it got approved by Joey Molland, which was very exciting. At least his Paul Davey said we were good. So hopefully Joey knows about us. But Paul Davey's his manager and friend, and a good friend of mine too. So very exciting stuff. And just something like I've always felt like I was spiritually connected to Pete somehow musically or something. And it just feels like, I feel like that's when you write songs, you're kind of tying into that pool of amazing inspirations that you have. You know, I hear people say like, oh, Hendrix came through me. And a lot of people laugh or something. I believe that. I believe that you could be tied in so like inspired deeply by somebody, it feels like they're writing for you. You know, it's kind of cool. But definitely, I don't know if I'm keeping my head above water. I really don't. I don't know how I do it either. That's a fun one. Yeah.
Well, you know, you said you're 22. I'm just a few years ahead of you, and I got to tell you, I respect the hustle for sure.
Well, thank you. Well, let's keep in contact too. I'd love to, talk music anytime. It's always fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always down to make new connections. And with this show, it's been such a great opportunity to do that because I get to talk to people from all over the world. It's great.
That's awesome. And that's how I feel with like Unlikely Places, which is my radio show. And we've been on madwaspradio.com. Can't forget to announce the people that actually air my show. They have been the best. The show goes in England, but I'm from Connecticut, so it's been an honor. I've had some wicked cool guests. It's such an amazing story to be able to pick up somebody and listen to their story and just enjoy it. And it's hard and it's fun for me. It's a challenge for me. The reason why I started doing radio is kind of unlike what most people, usually it's just because they love music so much. And I mean, I do. I love making playlists. I have that knack for dropping those songs right into each other and I love doing it. Yeah. But one thing I noticed is that I have really bad phone anxiety, like terrible. And so like, I'll like cold feet, like interviews, and I'll like reschedule guests that are huge. And I'm just like, and I'm so grateful that everybody's kind of patient now. It's like, I could lose out big time if I, but it's just the way I am. So I forced myself to do podcasts, not because like, oh my God, I could do this and I'm really good at it. And I am, I do take, pride in that, but it's just because I'm like, I force myself to get over my anxiety every time I do it. And then after the show's done, I crash. I'm like, oh God, it's just, I know that that's who I am. And that's just something you can like work on anxieties, but I don't think you can ever get rid of them because they're who you are. They're part of like what makes us human. And to me, it's like, they're kind of like, it's like when you have talents that are in your blood, those anxieties are there. It's just how sensitive you are to them. And I'm definitely on the sensitive side. They kind of control my life sometimes.
I understand that more than I care to admit.
It's debilitating sometimes. Like, for example, I wanted to go see a friend's band live and shout out to Mandala. This is why I didn't show up here. You get the real story right here. I couldn't get myself out of the house. I really wanted to go. My parents were willing to drop me off and willing to do anything they needed to help me get there. And it's just my social anxiety went through the roof. My gut was screaming no. And it was just like, you know what? It's not worth me going and having a bad time. Would I have had a bad time? No, I would have had a great time. It's just that my mind is in 3 different places all at once at the same time, every time. And it's just like, it's annoying because I want to go to a show. And it's my friend. I went to high school with him and great guitarist. And just, I hope to do a song with them soon. I did write one for them. So they got back to me. So hopefully we'll be getting in the studio when they come up in August. So it'd be really fun to just kind of just say, hey, I made it to a show.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
I wish you luck on the endeavors of anxiety. Like I said, and all too well. I've held myself back plenty of times. And it's like you said, having the radio show is definitely something that helps with that phone anxiety. Between that and the customer service job I had forever ago, it's definitely something I've had to overcome.
I had to work at a dollar store, and that was something like, all right. I'm going to mention this because it's just fun. I'm not going to use any names, of course, but like I was scared shitless every day at that store. Like I was scared, we got we've had what do they call it when they steal from the shelves and stuff, but they had like the people shoplifting and stuff, and I do everything I'm supposed to do, but then you realize like the boss is connected somehow, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this job. But like I love dealing with people. It's like a puzzle to me. That's why I love where I work. I work at a music venue, so I'm very passionate and I sell tickets for them. So I'm very good at it because I love music and I love the business so much. I can literally silver tongue anyone when I'm passionate about it. Like the quote always says, it's not really work when you find what you're doing is what you love.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel like a day of work in my life. And I think I have to deal with that self-guilt all the time that I'm not doing work. I don't know if it's just because like I got to work through it. I mean, I'm young. I can probably get over it soon, but it's such like a heavy guilt to like, oh, I should be 9 to 5 every day, and I don't have to be. I'm doing good. I'm doing great, and money isn't as important right now. I mean, I'm happy that we soon should as a label be flourishing. I'm very excited for that. But at the moment now, it's just nice to be able to do it. Some people don't even ever greenlight projects that they care about. They're always worried because their job takes over. And those people, they're needed. You guys are needed, of course, and it's very appreciative, but it's tough. I was in customer service at a college for, money, calling people up that they owe money. That is not fun. That'll really knock you out of phone anxiety pretty quick.
Yeah.
You call people up that they owe money. Oh, they like to fight with you. They don't even think you're human anymore. It's scary, but it's definitely something I had to work through. And I think it might have caused more phone anxiety than helped, but that's all right.
I understand that. Well, why don't we go ahead and shake off some of the rust here? We got time for another song. What do you want to play?
Cool. What was the hold on. I want to see what here. All right, I'm gonna debut a brand new song. This is a really cool one. So this is Granite. Granite has been out before many times. I've played it live a lot. It's been like recorded, very demo-ish. We have like many versions of this song, but this one I am really, really proud of. My buddy Owen Radford and I decided to go with a friend of ours, Jeremy Peck, on lead guitar. This guy is like Joe Satriani on a whole nother level, and I love this. So he took the song for a spin, made it like more him. I'm singing on a whole different vocal. I embodied the character. This album is called the official soundtrack to an unofficial movie, Spaceship Truth. And it's got a lot of guest stars like Roger Joseph Manning Jr. from Jellyfish, from Beck. He's the keyboardist of Beck. We have who else do we got? Terry Draper from Glad 2, Frankie Saragusa, and Derek Bostrom. Derek Bostrom's from the Meat Puppets, the drummer. All as voice actors. They're not actually playing any instruments. They're actually characters in the storyline, and it's like a play. It's very interesting. We kind of went with that Zapp-esque Joe's Garage kind of thing, because I love all that kind of stuff, and I've been inspired deeply in Frank's catalog, and I've met his sister. I've interviewed her, so it's like I wanted to have her voice act too, but then we were like, so we had her on an older album. So definitely, Patrice, we're coming for you to have your voice act at some point again. I love how she's like very Zapp-esque too in her voice acting, so it's perfect, being that she is the sister of Frank, so it's awesome. But this song also features Somber Mercy, a friend of mine that I met online. She's an amazing vocalist. I just met her on Instagram. I think I saw one of her reels or something, and I said, yo, I want to be on a song. And God, that gets me in trouble so many times. I'm just asking like random women if they want to be on songs. It's probably not the greatest thing, but music does serve, and I think it's really cool. So I asked her, and she was so into doing it, and it was a lot of patience and waiting back and forth. It's nice that we all have like home studios to record with iPhones and stuff like that. So it was my kind of hand at mixing originally, and then I sent it over to Jeremy Peck. So and he did most of the mixing and mastering on this one. And enjoy, guys. This is Granite.
Right on. Let's take a listen.
Hello, traveler from space. Do you have the time? Well, I've been sitting here waiting for some peace of mind down here. I know you're observing from above, but please don't mess with my earthly kind of love. You know, she's the girl of my dreams. Don't wanna mess with the queen or get burned. If you land here, just know it's a total waste of your time down here. time. All those rhymes, a little purple, green, and I'm kinda nervous that you're trying to mess with something in my mind. The lovers on the earth don't have no time for you. We're all caught up in some kind of weird kind of way down here. But if you end here, just know it's a total waste of your time. Oh yeah, humanity disgusts me. Humanity disgusts me. Oh, humanity changes its ways too many times. Too many false gods, false idols, false faith, false things. I don't wanna have to stay again. I don't wanna have to breathe, my friend. I'm done giving in. But humanity is just a total waste of your time. Total waste of your time. Oh, alright. Things I said before, you're always changing everything you try. You try to nitpick me while you're watching from the stars, and you're starting to wonder why humans act the way they do. I don't know how to answer. Sure, I wish.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to hear Isolated Do, we got to hear Granite, and we've been hanging out with Jebb this evening. Thank you so very much once again for coming on the show and telling us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, no, thank you. This has been great. And I want to thank Jim Terrell for showing me your radio show. Jim actually messaged the label and he's like, hey, this gal is doing a radio show like you, and you should like message her our songs. I'm like, sure. So sure, let me just do some label work. And so I'm glad we got connected. Thanks, Jim, for setting that up.
Yes, thank you indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, before we end tonight's show, I want to give you a moment to talk about what might be going on in the future. It sounds like you got a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. So, as we mentioned before, Spaceship Truth is finally, I think, coming out. It's been 2 years in the work, 2 failed concept albums put into one, and we think we did it right. So we're very excited. We have faith in this project. I mean, Owen Radford quit doing an album of his just to do this with me. He has faith in it, too. And with the record label coming out and everything, we've been really got the push now that we can really use for this. So that'll be something to look forward to. There's 23 tracks. It's all a story. It's kind of a little out there. I will go into it a little bit. Why not? I have this ex-girlfriend. We were really close at the time, of course. It's usually what goes on with that kind of stuff. And so we were doing our thing. We were outside watching the stars. And one night, believe it or not, we saw like a thing kind of streak across the sky. And I have video evidence of this, but I'm not crazy. But I think I saw an alien. But that's the way we're kind of inspired the story, because it's like hard to share that stuff with people without them going. You either get like really freaky people that come and like message you and like want to know stuff. And it's like, like, it's cool that you guys believe. I mean, I believe. I don't think X-Files all the way. But I don't want to like be in that kind of thing. So I kind of buried the evidence and just, I have the pictures of the thing. It could have just been like space junk. It could have been anything. But it kind of inspired this whole album. And originally the voice actors was going to be me and my ex, and we were going to do this whole thing out in the woods and get like real down to earth lo-fi recordings. And it kind of became that, right? So then after that, we kind of just went from there, and we hired we went our separate ways. And my buddy and I said, we're still doing the album. I said, oh yeah, well, yes we are. We have more writing material for the album than we could ever have, because I was going through the broken heart and all that. So we went through that, and we kind of took our old Your Friend Jebb Cardboard Cutouts album and made it something special as well, because that never came out. That was a band with Arthur Roberts of the Posies, Sushi Robo, and Peach, a really good guitarist and bass player. And so we gathered him in as a super group with us, and it was just a lot of fun.
Nice.
But we didn't want to get rid of the concept idea, so we kind of made it all a big one thing. And Owen Radford got to work on the story. He's doing the artwork. He's an amazing graphic designer. He does all our website artwork as well. And kind of just went from there. We had our editor join us on some vocals to replace somebody that used to be on the recording. We did have Ken at one point on the recordings from the Posies, but we had to scrap those, do the stories. And just John Auer kind of took up on there. He's still on there. Having all those voice actors in there is just insanely cool. So we did go through a lot of triumph and trials with this album. It's been sitting. Then we got it to, we had to go through one producer and mixer, and then now we're going to another one. And it's just something that I know when it comes out, it's going to hit. It's going to be a huge hit because of how much effort's going into it. And I'm known for, like I said, right when I started this interview, I have so many albums out and so many things just right on Bandcamp because I'm so just always doing stuff. This album has been very much of a patient teacher. I feel like a Jedi over here because I'm like, I have to learn patience because it's been almost 3 years now and it's still not out, but we're going to make it happen. So keep an eye out on Spaceship Truth, the unofficial soundtrack, or the official soundtrack to the unofficial movie. See, it's such a long title, I don't even get it right myself. It was supposed to be out last year, but we're glad it sat for a little bit because we got better mixing and better mixes to come. And shout out to our past mixer Tyler Green. He did a great job, but we'll be working with Jeremy Peck now, so it's very exciting, the guy that is on Granite. So we're just very moving forward and just kind of figuring it all out while running a business, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I know Owen will be on this show pretty soon, so excited to have him kind of continue the legacy here. But he is a great songwriter in his own right too, and he does a lot of different stuff than I do. So it's very interesting. You get two sides of some of the Jebb and the Riots writing, our other band that we do together. So we have two Jebb and the Riots albums coming. We have LP3 and LP4, where they're still in the works. We found a bunch of my unreleased tracks, like 13 songs that were just sitting, and Owen brought up like, hey, we should do another album. I was like, sure, why not? I said, let's get the Spaceship Truth out though, because we definitely gotta get that out. I'm one of those that like, I'm lazy, but I'm not lazy. My mind is always running. So like when I go to take breaks, majority of people are like, you should take a break. And then I'm like, no, I'm not taking a break just because they told me to. Yeah. And then I'll be like, I'll crash and I'll be out for 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm lazy. I'm going, but it has to be on my own terms. It's great. But
I totally understand.
I think it's what makes great songwriters. I think we have an ability that is so far beyond what people can understand that they want to say take a break because that's their way of saying we're proud of you, good job. But I don't know how to be at your level, so please take a break so I could somehow feel at your level. I think that's what that is. I don't know. I theory every day about my life, like how do I do this? But I have to say the biggest advice I give to anybody, songwriting wise and anything, or musicians, take small victories and treat them big. Because you never know what's going to be your last victory. And if you take every small victory as a big thing, you'll never lose out. I mean, and you got to take the losses heavy too. They're going to be heavy. Putting all your eggs in one basket is going to cause, if the basket falls, it's everything, your heart and soul. I say do pour your heart and soul into everything you do, because that's the only reason why you should do something is if you're fully into it. But at the same time, sometimes it's good to do 80%. It's still 100% to most people. If your 80% is 100, you know what I mean? Like if you're very passionate, your 80% will be 100% to most people. And I've noticed that as I slowed down, I'm still 22. I feel like I'm like retiring here. No, but I've noticed that my changes in music has changed to be very open-minded. I always say to people, like I listen to Slipknot now. I'm loving them. So like, I don't know what happened there. At first I was like, I'm never touching these guys. And then I saw them live and I was like, I'm going to be listening to them a lot more. It's something different, and I've come from a very like, our last song that we have here is, if we have the time for the last one here, is a Change of Seasons, is much different. Because it was the first song I ever wrote. I wrote it with my dad. So that song is very special. very much when I was younger. My dad's still around, of course. It sounds like he's dead, but he's good. I still live with my parents. Both my parents are very, very supportive of my music to the point where I think I drive them insane. So shout out to my mom and dad. I drive them bonkers every day, but I really do. I know it takes a strong person to understand me, and I'm a tough cookie to work with. But they do a lot for me and take me to concerts. They make sure that I'm always doing music, and it's so much fun that they even tell me to take breaks. It's great. But Change of Seasons is very special. I wrote that with my dad. It was one of the first songs I ever wrote. And it actually went through some stages of changes. Speaking of Change of Seasons, it's changed a lot. So originally it was recorded, then it was recorded with a blues guy, Slim, on a Jebb and Slim record. And it just it wasn't finding its fit yet. And all of a sudden I found Lisa Michaels online, I heard some of her songs, and I just got the guts to ask her if she ever wanted to work on a song with me. And we almost didn't do it because there was just timing and just a lot of, back and forth, and it almost didn't happen. And all of a sudden she surprised me with all the files. I was like, oh, cool. So it did happen. And her lovely boyfriend or husband, I think they're married. I don't want to guess here, but Tom Richards on the 12 string is amazing work. I wrote the song alongside with Lisa and Owen Radford. So it's 3 songwriters on that song.
Right.
And it's just something I've never done before, being able to take one of my songs, one of my babies, and give it away, Yeah. And currently I'm working on a song with Emily Ewing. It's called Parachute. We wrote that in under an hour on a Zoom call, and I don't know how I did it. I'm very good at writing songs. I can write songs in 10 minutes, but when working with somebody else, I'm always getting nervous. But we wrote it under an hour, and it's going to be a hit. I know it is. She's got this Adele style voice. She's very good. And it's out of my genre too. So I'm very excited to try something different, but thank you for having me on. I am extremely honored, and Robojack, thank you for taking on our artists as well. We're very excited.
Of course. Well, Jebb, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to chat with you this evening. I want to say thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in as always every Friday night to unrestrictedradio.com. We get to hang out here listening to the folks that make up our underground scene and more. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a listen to Change of Seasons by Jebb. And until next time, folks, peace and love.
Seasons are changing, but you don't have to go. Those seasons are changing, but you don't have to go.
Your mind is always rearranging with temperatures changing. Don't despair.